Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well this evening. Now, let's get some little housekeeping out of the way. First of all, excuse my hair. I am just off work, and so this is very casual, if you will. Anyways, welcome to the live chat here. This is my other channel. If you're coming from my main channel, Reporting Live from My Sofa, this is like my podcast channel over here, I call it. So we go live over here. I do short updates. We talk about headlines. We do all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're subscribed to both of them. The links are down in the description below. Okay. Now, what specifically we're going to be doing today is we are going to be catching up. And what I mean by we, I mean me, because I have not been able to catch up with all the Delphi stuff going on, right? So today I was saving some articles and just kind of quickly going through, and I was like, you know what? I can do a live chat and just hang out with the squad, say hello, see how everybody's doing, that kind of a thing, and just catch up on all the stuff that's going on. And that's what we're going to do. Now, this is much different if you're used to my, what do you call them? My pre-recorded videos. Those are edited, that kind of thing. So obviously this is live. I'll stop and talk to people along the way. You know, it's very casual, that kind of a vibe. So if you're not into that, I completely get it. It's a different vibe, but if you do like the vibe, then make sure to subscribe. All right. So thank you, Dee. I appreciate it. So let me start off just saying hello to everybody. Let's just say the stereotypical thing that the YouTubers do. Let's give everybody a few minutes to get on in here. Okay. Everybody always says that. I know it. I hate to have to do it too. Hey, Minnie. Hey, Oracle. Hey, Olivia. Hey, Jennifer. Hello, Lion and Lamb. Hello, Cement Shoes. Hello, True Crime Time. Hello, Cunning. Hello, Leanne. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Fun math time. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Tina. Hello, Mel. Indeed, love by two. Thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate that. And so does Roscoe. Roscoe is joining us. He's back here in case you can't see him. He's on the sofa. Hey, Shannon. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Jenny. Okay. Hey, Honey Church. Hey, Chris. Hey, Cookie. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, yep. So everything's been going good here. We just been holding it down. Hey, Derek. How's it going? Derek is coming to help me lay a floor this weekend, y'all. We love our Derek Reynolds. Thank you very much. Shout out to him. He's my best friend. And so this is what we're gonna do. Oh, yeah, here's my shirt. I do what I want. Walmart special. Oh, and by the way, I need to get better at this. I do have the new merch out that says, so there's that. The coffee cups and the sweatshirts. I'll put the link down here below. I meant to, I ordered the sweatshirt, and you know what happened? I ordered it wrong. I got a small size, which y'all know I can't fit in no small. And I haven't sent it back to get the appropriate size. But anyways, I have that out now because some people had asked me about it, and it's here. So let me put that in here. And then we're going to start with the first article. Please hold. Anyways, thank you all the new people who've subscribed lately too. I really appreciate it. I'm glad y'all are here. We will do a specific live probably after the sentencing of Daryl Brooks. We need like a complete closure to that, okay? And so I'm kind of waiting to do that, and then we'll do like a live chat and do a comment. The comments on that, y'all already know. Okay, so here we go. So what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna start with this article. Now, and I'm gonna say this, y'all. There are probably other channels who do way deeper dives and stuff like this. Again, I'm not claiming to be the end all know all on this stuff, right? I get caught up by going through articles, that kind of stuff, verifiable resources, yada, yada, yada. Pardon me. So that's what I'm doing here. So this might not be breaking news is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. I apologize, but it just is what it is. Now, if you are not familiar with the Delphi case, this major happenings have been going on with this recently. A gentleman has been arrested. Again, this is what, a 6-year unsolved case with Abby and Libby. And I personally think the cops have got some major evidence on this guy. And so, in fact, let's start talking about, let's see here. Where is it? Not that one. I think it's the first one. Yes. Let's start talking about the title of this, where he is throwing himself at the mercy of the court. And I'm actually going to show this. So let me share the screen so y'all can look at this with me. Please hold. Hey, Peggy, how's it going? Okay, how does this work? It's been a minute. Share. I thought share was just like up here. Settings. Where do we share the screen? Present, maybe? Sides, extra camera. Share screen, there we go. They go to changing stuff. They know I can't keep up with this stuff. Okay, so there's that. Share. Now let me just scroll back to y'all to make sure you're looking at the same thing as me. Right? Right. Okay, here we are. Okay, so the title of this is I Had No Clue How Expensive It Would Be. Poor thing, right? Richard Allen requests public defender in the Delphi murders case. And again, the article, the title you can see here, he is formally charged on October 28th for what took place with Abby and Libby. Okay, so if Richard, the suspect in the murders of the two girls, is asking the court to provide him with a public defender, he made the request saying, I, Richard M. Allen, hereby throw myself at the mercy of the court. He goes on to say he is begging for legal assistance. He says that in his initial hearing, October 28th, I asked to find representation for myself. However, at the time, I had no clue how expensive it would be just to talk to someone. Yeah, it's pretty pricey, especially when you do horrific things to innocent young ladies. Allegedly, I know. And so actually, let's just read his actual thing here. Pardon me. How do you make this bigger? Well, like that did any good. Y'all know, seriously? Okay. Okay, well, I don't know how to do that. Here's a picture of the thing. This is what we're going to do. Derek sent me a thing. I'm going to read it on my phone. That just seems the most logical thing to do, right? Hey, Vicky, how's it going? Okay, so you can get the vibe here, right? You get the vibe. This is a handwritten letter, right? Okay, so he does his case number. In the case, but he spells it cause listed above. I, Richard M. Allen, hereby throw myself at the mercy of the court. I am begging to be provided with legal assistance in a public defender or whatever help is available. At my initial hearing on October 28, 2022, I asked to find representation for myself. However, at the time, I had no clue how expensive it would be to just talk to someone. I also did not realize what my wife and I's immediate financial situation was going to be. We have both been forced to immediately abandon employment, myself due to incarceration and my wife for her personal safety. She has had to abandon our house for her own safety. What little reserve there is will fail to even maintain the original residence. Again, I throw myself at the mercy of the court. Please provide me whatever assistance you may. Thank you for your time in this matter. Sincerely, Richard M. Allen. Okay. Yeah. Then there's another thing here. Let's see. Oh, wait, this is the same. It's just a better copy of it. So, yeah. So now, as we know, if you followed this, now this is what's also so interesting about it to me. Maybe it's just because we follow this stuff. Like, we know that, yeah, it's like super expensive, like a lawyer, right? I mean, please. In some kind of crime like this, you would think, here's me. Say you did something like this, right? Don't you think you would like slightly be curious enough to Google along the way? You know, like how much is a lawyer? What if that ever happened? You know, I mean, it just kind of also tells me that maybe he just absolutely thought that he had gotten away with this, never was going to have to, you know, deal with this situation again. You know what I'm saying? And so I find that part interesting. Now, again, as we've seen before, of course, he's going to have to go with a public defender. I mean, you saw what his bail was. It's like $20 million or something like that. It's like insane, right? So of course he's going to have to go with a public defender. You can only imagine what attorneys are probably trying to charge him. Yeah, just to come talk to him. I mean, this is major high profile case, major high profile case. And personally, I mean, we don't know, of course, what evidence they have against him, but I'm thinking, pardon me, it's going to be major. And yeah, my elderly cat says, "And how are you doing?" Says, "I think I'd use someone else's computer for those searches." Amen, sister. And here's the thing that we often find with the criminals here: they're going to use their phone, they're going to use their own damn computer. They're going to go to Walmart. They're going to be at Walmart buying the evidence, Googling stuff on the phone, how to use the evidence, all on video at the damn cash register. It never ceases to amaze me. But again, thank God they do, right? It just makes it easier to put them away. Okay, now let's go on. So that's that article, right? So he's throwing himself in the mercy of the court. He wants a public defender. There's that. Okay, so interesting. Now that came out, I think that was from today, was it? Or November 9th? It is November 9th. So that article information was from today. I'm going to go on to the next thing. Okay, so this is about the judge. Now, this is kind of old news here, but I haven't personally caught up on it. This is updated on the 4th, and this is just about the judge. He was concerned for his safety after he sealed the court docs in the Delphi case and recused himself. His name was Judge Benjamin Diner. He begged state court administrators to help him deal with the brewing storm of requests for information. Now, as you can imagine, when this went off, there was tons and tons of Freedom for Information Acts going through. I mean, they were probably bogged down and will be. You often Barry Morphew, what's her name? Lori Daybell, Chad Daybell, these cases where they end up having to have special, like, you know what I mean? Because there's so many people coming through with this stuff, wanting to get access to this. So no surprise here also. So Carroll County Judge Benjamin Diner has excused himself from the Delphi case. In his order, he said he has determined that the particular circumstances within the underlying case warrant recusal and dictate that a special judge be appointed to the case. It is not clear what the circumstances are that the judge referenced, but in previous emails and court documents, he has cited safety concerns and that he and his staff have been overwhelmed by the public attention and requests for information. Completely understandable. The case will now be handled by a special judge. Pardon me. 13 News learned that the Office of Judicial Administration is looking to appoint Judge Fran Gohl in Allen County to the case. Under the state's Code of Judicial Conduct, there are several reasons that would require a judge to step away. They include if the judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or party's lawyer, or if they have personal knowledge of disputed facts for the case, having a close personal relationship to someone involved in the case, or having a third degree of a relationship to someone in the case also disqualifies a judge. Let's see his plea for help. The judge agreed to release more details about the arrest of the Delphi man while also asking state court administrators to help him deal with a brewing storm. We already read that. He found there was probable cause to arrest and charge Richard. And once a suspect is arrested, the state law requires a probable cause affidavit known as PC to be publicly released. And that document outlines the evidence that led the police to arrest the suspect and would provide the details. But before formally filing the charges, prosecutor Nick McLean asked the judge to seal all documents. Yes. And obviously, I mean, this is such a high profile situation. You know, we can kind of see that. Now, these were the things that once all this went down and all these major things went through, I'm just going to read this little bullet point off. So this is some of the more information that came out. So his initial bill was set at $20 million. And then several days later, it was no bond. So, I mean, here's my thing. And yeah, I mean, y'all tell me what you think. And again, it is what it is, right? I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and sound like I know everything. when a judge says $20 million, to me, that's like, we've got some, number one, it's a horrible crime. Number two, we've got some major evidence. Like, there's a lot of stuff, right? Now let me take a minute to see some super chats came through. Holly, thank you so much. I always love seeing all of your emojis come through in the comment sections. I really appreciate your sticker and your super chat. And Barb, thank you so much. I really appreciate it too. And Barb, you said, what does throwing itself at the mercy of the court mean? Okay, so Barb, this is my take on it. I think it's just like a saying that he's like, I'm throwing myself at the mercy of the court, like a desperation thing. Now, if anybody out there knows if that's some kind of legal term that like has some validity to it, I don't know. But for me, what I know it to me is like, okay, I'm throwing myself at the mercy of your court, like a white flag in the air. Like, I give up. I can't get no lawyer. I ain't got no money. That kind of a thing. But again, I ain't no lawyer. I don't know if that does have an actual thing or whatever. To me, it just sounds like he's just throwing himself out there like that. You know what I mean? Hey, Adrian, how's it going? Gail, yes, it is in Orlando. I've not heard yet if they're going to take me on so Gail asked, Paul, is CrimeCon still going to be held in Orlando? I am going to CrimeCon next year. Derek's going to be there with me. I do not know yet if I'm going to have a booth there or not. I applied for it, but haven't heard from them. So if y'all hear other creators talking about we're going to be there, then maybe I didn't make the cut. I don't know. But if I didn't, that's fine. We're still going to be there. We're going to be walking around and doing all that kind of stuff. So there's that. So just be on the lookout for it. And what else? He's not getting right. Yeah, Barb. So it sounds, from when I'm reading this, it's a no bond situation now. So yeah, it's a no bond. Okay, so let me go back to this article over here and welcome everybody who's just joining. And please hold, and we're gonna keep going through this. All right, so where to go? Ooh, it's jumping all around. Okay, so case summary information showing Allen's past and upcoming court dates. Let's go look at it real quick. It's all news. Wait, what does it do? Well, that's no fun. Neither is that. We'll look this up in a second. We'll come back to this and look at it together. The case numbers so the public can follow the new details, and a notice setting of November 22nd. Date for a public hearing. So November 22nd is a major day, and that's for Diner to determine whether important records in a case will remain under seal. Here's my thing. I personally think when we find out the information, like the probable cause, whatever it is, our mouths are going to hit the damn ground in sadness and shock, because so much of what the, public does know or doesn't know or whatever you want to call it, I mean, I just think that it's gonna make us. It's gonna break our hearts, right? Oh, thank you again, Holly. I appreciate it. You're so sweet. We love you too, and the Sofa Squad loves you as well. The squad being Mr. Roscoe and everybody here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I imagine Enoch says, I think he's hoping for a high profile to jump in. I 100% agree. I think that that's probably going to happen. I mean, that's going to take place, right? Somebody will eventually jump in. Excuse me. So, this is, high profile, y'all. High profile. So it's just a matter of time. Okay, I'm going to jump back over to the article over here and keep reading. Please hold. Okay. All the information now appears. Okay, so there's that. That might be all for that article. So the probable cause. So they're just talking about that there. And they're talking about that situation showing from the storm and his message. They're talking about, again, the judge, needing help. Now, this part I haven't read. So let's go through this because I'm not 100% sure what this meant. And I just want to find out. So let's find out together. So this is called filing to move Allen to state custody. On November 2nd, the Carroll County Sheriff filed a request to have Allen moved to the custody of the Indiana Department of Correction. The judge approved that request on November 3rd, noting that defendant is an inmate awaiting trial and is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death and represents substantial threat to the safety of others. The judge clarified the danger was to Allen from the public. It is not related to any of Allen's actions since being taken into custody. Pardon me. The judge then notes that there are videos already online that contain family members of the judge, including photos. The document on the order to transfer custody of Allen claims he indicated at the initial hearing on October 28th that he planned to hire his own attorney. Allen was given 20 days to get an attorney. He was said to have been in protective gear for his own safety. The judge notes the public's bloodlust for information before it exists is extremely dangerous. Okay. And let's see here. I'm just going down to see what else in this week. Probable cause information. Still going on with the probable cause stuff. Okay, and that's it for this article. So let's get rid of that. And then let's jump over. Okay, so this is just where they released his information. Not his information, his what do you call it? What do you call this? His picture. So let's go, let's share this one. Okay, let me find it over here. We're going to present. We're going to share the screen. We're going to do a Chrome tab. And we're going to that one. We're going to share. I'm going to make sure that we're all on the same. Where are y'all? You're right here, right? Yeah. So that's his booking photo or whatever. The Richard Allen, the man charged in connection with Allen's, remains in custody at an undisclosed state facility. The Indiana Department of Correction released a new mugshot who has been moved to a state facility for safety. So that's his new mugshot. Let's see. Confidence the case has been marked by turmoil. Overwhelmed car. Yep. Recused himself. The independent resigned. So it is Judge Fran Gull. His probable cause is still remains sealed. Hearing on the 22nd. It goes into the charges. And it goes into Abby and Libby and about their bodies being found. So that's about it. So that's the main thing from here. It's just this updated booking photo. So creepy just to look into those eyes. I mean, it's God bless those girls, what they saw in those moments. Where is this? I just can't get over the fact that he was in the community, seeing the grandparents, seeing the people, being there. I mean, we've seen the photographs, him at the bar with his wife, the picture of who they thought, didn't know it was him at the time in the back. I heard the stories of him processing photos from the funeral for the grandmother and not charging her. I mean, I just, there are real waking monsters and nightmares that walk and live among us. Let me get back to this thing. Now this, let me see if this is the correct thing I want to go over. I don't know anything about this right here, y'all. And y'all tell me if for people who have followed this extensively, this might ring more of a bell with you. So I don't know if this is just tabloid fodder or what, but we can maybe just look some stuff up on it. So, okay, let me share this real quick. Where'd y'all go? Y'all are right here. Okay. Okay. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Okay, let me make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so this, first and foremost, y'all already know. This is the Sun. Okay. Tabloid, yes. We get this, right? So we're taking this resource as with a grain of salt, but mostly to see if anyone's like, oh yeah, I've heard about this and it's a no-go or what. The article says Sick-Link Delphi suspect Richard Allen is probed as part of investigation into two murdered cousins amid dad's serial killer fears. This is November 6th. Investigating unsolved murder of two children in Iowa are keeping a keen eye on accused Delphi murderer Richard Allen in connection with their probe. And it goes into talking about how he's arrested for Abby and Libby. And Elizabeth Collins left 8 and Lyric Cook Morrissey Wright 10 were found dead in December 2012, 5 months after they vanished on a bike ride. I mean, look at these children. I mean, how do these people do this awful stuff? So again, this is Richard Allen. Here's Libby and Abby. The father, pardon me, the father of one, a Delphi local and CVS worker, has pleaded not guilty. So, this is just going into Richard's story here that we know. As the probe into the Delphi case continues, police are investigating an eerily similar double murder of two young children in Evansville, Iowa in 2012. Say they're keeping close tabs on Allen. Cousins Elizabeth Collins, 8, and Larry Cook Morrissey, 10, vanished while riding their bikes around the small town of just 4,700 people on July 13th, 2012. Their bodies were found 5 months later when a group of hunters stumbled across the remains 25 miles away in the remote Seven Bridges Wildlife Area. Speculation has mounted in recent years that the two cases could be connected, and a number of parallels have been drawn. In addition to police never revealing any of the girls' causes of death, both murders took place in small Midwestern towns of less than a few thousand people, just 300 miles apart. Both cases also involved two young girls who were out exploring in nature when they were abducted, and all four bodies were left on land typically frequented by hunters. Internet sleuths also read into the fact that the dates of the two murders are anagrams of one another, Delphi being 2/13/17 and Evandale's 7/13/12. But currently, there's no hard evidence to suggest the cases are linked, though Indiana State Police has compared notes to in the past with cops in Iowa. Roscoe just scared me to death when he jumped down off that. I didn't know what that was. Allen has not been accused of any wrongdoing in connection with the deaths of Elizabeth and Lyric. However, in a statement to the U.S. Sun, Jason Ellison, a detective with the Bremer County Sheriff's Office, said they are evaluating Allen. Our investigative framework has been neither to confirm or deny suspects as it pertains to our investigation, said Ellison. We are aware of Mr. Allen and have taken appropriate steps to evaluate him through our known case facts. We will continue to evaluate Mr. Allen as more information is learned. Now, let me just check in with everybody over here real quick. Okay, I'm going to keep going back and we'll come back to you in 1 second. So here we go. A small chance, the next section is called. Despite an extensive police investigation and various public appeals for information, no arrests have ever been made in connection to the Evandale's case. Elizabeth's father, Drew Collins, told the U.S. Sun the likelihood his daughter's death is linked to the Delphi case is not totally out of the realm of possibility, though he believes, there's only a very small chance it could be. If I had a percentage on it, I'd say it was a very low percentage, but it certainly isn't possible, said Drew. But I would be shocked if it was, and it would be surprising because where the girls were found is just so obscure. It's in the middle of nowhere. Unless you knew that place, you would never have found it. It's a park that's basically abandoned in the middle of nowhere up a dirt road. So if it is somebody that's done both of these crimes, they'd have to know this area super well, and well as the Delphi area really, and well as the Delphi area really well too. That's why I'd be surprised, but I want to totally rule it out as a theory, he says. And this looks like the father, Elizabeth's father, Drew. There's her again. Drew remembered his daughter as a bubbly animal lover, and Lynn Cook Morrissey. Drew said the arrest in the Delphi case after 6 long years has provided him with additional confidence that his daughter's killer will one day be found. I mean, let's pray there is. I mean, if one thing, just a sofa sidebar here for a minute, if one thing that we've seen from the Delphi case is that, when it looks bleak, I mean, look at this. I mean, like 6 years later, right? There is hope for justice. There is hope for truth in these cold cases. I mean, it happens. Someone somewhere knows something, and the truth cannot be buried forever. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, especially in these scenarios like this, where these parents lose these young children and babies like this, I can't imagine the unknowingness of never knowing, like, who, why will they ever be brought to justice. I mean, what a waking nightmare to have to live through. I cannot imagine. Okay, so it's going to talk a little bit, pardon me, about the crime here. On the morning of November 13th, 2012, Elizabeth and Lyric had been dropped off at their grandmother's home in downtown Evansville to be watched while their parents worked. Without the knowledge of Drew or Elizabeth's mom, Heather, the girls' grandmother, Wilma Collins had allowed the pair to go off on a bike ride alone around noon. God bless it. You know that has eaten her up. Oh my God. It sounds like the kind of town that you would think that someone should be able to do that in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to blame her at all for that, but you just know that that's eaten to her. Please hold. So when the girls failed to return home after an hour, Wilma grew concerned and contacted both sets of parents before the police were finally called sometime around 3 p.m. The last known sign of the girls came between 12:30 p.m. and 1 p.m. along Gilbert Drive, a stone's throw from the Myers Lake, a popular local fishing and recreation area. Their bikes and Elizabeth's purse and her cell phone still inside were later found on a trail around the corner of the lake around 4 p.m. What happened to the girls next remains a mystery more than a decade on. Drew had been at work when he returned home in the early afternoon to be told by Heather that the girls were missing. What started out as just a regular day quickly descended into a parent's worst nightmare. We were worried from the beginning. We would have never let Elizabeth go out. It was different for Lyra because she was a little bit older, but Elizabeth was too little. After Elizabeth's bag was found tossed over a fence, Drew said the panic really started to set in. That was the moment when it hit me that something really wasn't right, he said. So we kept on looking and looking, but we couldn't find them anywhere. Roscoe, it's me. Look, Roscoe, right here. Sorry, Roscoe's having a little senior moment over here. As days passed without any progress, volunteers came out in the hundreds to assist police and comfort the girls' families. Vigils, volunteer searches, press conferences were all held, but still it's nothing. For the following 5 months, Drew, Heather, and their 3 other children all waited in agony for updates. Those 5 months were unbearable, he said. It's still unbearable now, even 10 years later. It's all I live and breathe. You never know. Imagine something could happen in a small town like this. It's a safe area. You hear about these kinds of things happening, but nobody ever thinks it can happen to their family until it does. And he says not for 1 second did Drew allow his mind to entertain the possibility that Elizabeth would not one day return home. Determined to stay positive, he clung to the memory of the evening he'd shared with Elizabeth the night before she vanished. He'd gone to watch her softball game on July 12th. After the match, he took her and one of her teammates out for ice cream before enjoying a normal night at home. That was the last time he ever saw Elizabeth. Now, I'm just going to check in with y'all real quick over here. I'm just checking in. Okay, cool. I'm going to finish reading this up real quick. Where are we at? Here we are. A living nightmare. When the phone rang on December 5th, 2012, Drew answered. It was the family's minister on the phone asking them to come down to City Hall immediately. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I would have had to have gotten attacked. I would have been shaken. Because, in a situation like this, the minister calls and says, come down. It's not good, right? It's cannot imagine. Okay, I drove as fast as I could to City Hall, and our minister was the first one to meet me there. I don't know what he knew at that point, but we waited for everyone to show up as far as our family was concerned. And then the chief of police walked in the room, and I could tell by his face it wasn't good news. He had what I call 1,000-mile stare. You could tell in his face that he was upset, and that wasn't going to be a good turnout. Drew's instinct unfortunately proved correct. Pardon me. Both of the girls have been found dead together deep in a secluded nature reserve. Drew, through tears, recounted how he set his other 3 children down to tell them their sister would not be coming home as they had for so long hoped. Oh my God, this is awful. That's the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, an emotional Drew said. After that, there were probably just 20 to 30 of us laying on the floor of City Hall crying. I mean, what else could you do? But literally just collapse and just lose it. After all that anticipation and hope, all the work we had done to try and find them, and for that to be the outcome was devastating. You look at the faces of those 2 girls and you just think there was no way anybody could hurt them. They were so nice. Nobody can hurt them. They're too sweet. You have to be a monster to have done something so evil. Police have never disclosed to Drew or any of their family members how the girls were killed, believing it to be information only the killer would know. Oh, investigators also believe the suspect is likely familiar with the Evansdale area, possibly a local, and saw a small window of opportunity to kidnap and kill the 2 girls. It's possible the culprit or culprits may have attempted to abduct children in the past and may have changed their appearance after the girls' deaths. Let's see. Keeping the faith. Okay, So this has been more than a decade that this has been going on. I'm just kind of skipping through here. I didn't know this article was so long. The many theories have come about what could have possibly happened, this kind of a thing. Judging from it here, I'm just going to come back over here real quick. Where are you at? Where'd y'all go? Here we are. Stop sharing. Okay. Pardon me. I mean, never say never, right? Here's my thing. When you start getting into the whole thing of like, did the other dude get involved with it or did the Delphi guy do it? I mean, the MO, like the whole scenario is so similar, right? Whether he had something to do with this particular thing, because that would be just absolutely shocking. It very much makes me wonder with him, who else? Who else? I've been holding this up this whole time, y'all thinking the microphone's right here, and it's not. It's down here. Y'all, one day, I could never have a real TV. I could never be like a real news person or something like that. I would get fired the first day, right? I would never make it past the little teleprompter thing. I mean, I can't even use the microphone properly. My God. That's why I've been holding the cord up to my face this whole damn time, right? But I mean, so I mean, y'all been wondering, why is he eating the cord? Why is he eating the cord? So if you thought that you got away with something like this, and here's my thing, this is so high profile, the smugness that he probably had of thinking, oh, I've snowed this whole damn town, right? The whole world, the whole nation. It makes you wonder, is this all he did? Did he just like go off into oblivion and keep living his life with his wife and kid and do all that? That kind of a thing? Or did he keep, going out there and doing it? That's what makes me wonder, are we going to find out there's other victims? Now, here's my other thing too. Okay, so you know how the Klein guy, the Anthony Shots guy, the dude who's in jail right now, right? Not for the Anthony Shots thing, but you know what I'm saying? That dude, Klein. Okay, so do we think there is any connection? Here's my thing. I personally, and again, this is me, this is speculation. This is just us on the damn sofa talking. There is no fact to this. There is none of this. This is me going on my 2 cents right here. I personally think we're going to find out there might have been somebody else involved. Whether that somebody else could be a scenario of, and I'm making this up right here. Him and this Klein dude both had access to the account. So they were doing all that, talking there. They were both, kind of talking back and forth to the girls and maybe kind of figured out how to meet up or whatever. Pardon me. That kind of a thing. Now, do I feel like maybe this dude did the actual scenario there? I don't know. I didn't want to speculate on that part of it. And number one, it just gives me nightmares. I just feel like we're going to just absolutely be heartbroken when we find out what actually happened to the girls. Kind of a thing. But hey, Emily, how are you? No notification. Shame on Facebook. Shame on not Facebook. What are we on? YouTube. I can't get the microphone right. We are on YouTube, not Facebook. Oh my God. Everybody give Emily a warm welcome. She is our lovely moderator here, and we do adore her. And so let's see here. So, yeah, I just can't imagine when they ran into him. And I'm just kind of reading your comments right now. And that whole scenario where he probably controlled them with a gun and, whatever, and did all that. I mean, my gosh. So I'll be curious to see if we find out that there was possibly somebody else that helped him or whatever. That kind of a thing. Because I just feel like, I don't know. Thanks, Natalia. I appreciate it. I just feel like there probably was, but again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know this case inside out. It's just one of those things we're looking at it. I don't see how this dude, I can see how he could have controlled the situation on his own in that moment, but there's too many weird connections. The Anthony Shot situation is so bizarre to me. just that whole scenario with that dynamic being built into this and having talked to her and all that kind of stuff. Um, you know, and Yaya says, and this is a very good point. I think he presented himself as an authority figure because they weren't supposed to be in the bridge. And see, there you go. So imagine this is a perfect case scenario. Look at scenarios like what Ted Bundy did with, college age girls. It's not all the scenarios, but in some of them of posing as, an authority figure, things of this nature. People do this all the time. So imagine young children. I mean, and especially you're doing something you're not supposed to do. I mean, come on. It's, it is what it is. It would be very easy to do that. So that part, I can totally see him doing that on his own. But again, a lot of people have said the connection to some kind of underground situation. I mean, 100% it could be. I mean, my God, look at the things that we've seen, come out of light and, the rest of the world in the last years or so. I mean, it's, scary. So, I feel like with this and that whole what do you call it? The Anthony shot scenario, all that type stuff. That's what makes me say, this is like deeper. This is deeper. And then is what is says the girls knew something was wrong. That's the video. And yes, totally agree. And now remember that audio portion. Remember what it was like? There's really actually 43 seconds of the actual video. How does it go again? There's actually 43 seconds, but they've only released a few snippets of it, or they've released 43 seconds, but there's much more of the audio of the down the hill audio. So I don't know. I'm going to be very curious to see if we find out about other victims. And again, I mean, I don't know if other channels have done this yet. So Emily says just 43 seconds total. Okay, cool. Thank you, Emily. I'm very curious to know, are there other similar, like if the dude got away with it, we're doing air quotes here. If he thought he got away with this, have they been started looking back to other crimes in this area or surrounding areas, which obviously that one we just read about, which is like what 300 miles away? Because again, that's what I come to. I'm like, well, yeah, if he got away with this one time, I mean, who else could possibly be out there? And I mean, what this still blows my mind about this, the fact that there's the small town. Here's this picture of the dude with that shirt on. Well, I'm sorry, with the jacket on, with that hat on, so widely publicized. And there wasn't anyone that was like, I recognize that jacket or hat, that like maybe knew him like on a daily basis kind of a thing. I mean, come on. Maybe he never wore that. Has anyone gotten any into like verifiable information elsewhere about that part of this? Hold on. Was this a jacket he normally wore? Was this a hat he normally wore? And I'm talking about in the what do you call it? The video, the Snapchat video that she took. Because that part right there, I just feel like when it's somebody like, would his wife have noticed that, like, and seen that, been like, huh, that my husband has that jacket, or oh, that's funny, my husband kind of wears that. I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I mean, I'm just trying to sit here and think like, there's just stuff where I would like to think if, Matt, I would recognize something with Matt, but I mean, maybe everybody's different, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, and the limb, that's true. I bet it's some was temporary, recent injury. Now, also I've seen a lot of people talking about the voice thing. I could see where the voice might throw. It was such a small snippet of down the hill. And to me, the voice wasn't so distinguishable as to be like, oh, wait, that's so and so. Now, again, it's so much of a vacuum. Pardon me. I would have to. The voice didn't do anything for me to be like, well, why didn't someone recognize his voice? Because it just wasn't like, the voice was kind of generic to me, right? It just didn't stick out. Something like that could have been like anything. And it was such a small amount of the voice. I don't know. And I could tell he wasn't young. He was dressed like a typical Midwestern middle-aged guy. Yeah. And 100%, right? Okay, Jenny says, I can see where the wife would be in total denial. Dollar two. My heart breaks for it. It's not so horrifying. I have to come to grips with this alleged crime. Yeah, 100%. I don't know what this. Okay, I don't remember the name of this case, but Tell me if y'all recognize it when I start describing it, but this is kind of what it reminds me of. Okay, so there was this dude who it was like this wealthy doctor or something like that. Basically, they had this like big mansion out in the middle of nowhere. Um, and I think it was guys that he was having over. Long story short, dude started killing people, okay, and dumping the bodies like in the woods behind his house or something, right? So when all this pops off and the police are there, like they're finding skeletons, right, in the damn woods. Well, apparently, like the wife knew about this, and she was like, "I thought that the skeletons in the woods were um I don't know what you call it, but it would be like he uses them for teaching or something like that. Like in it, you know how they have the skeletons to teach and stuff. So she thought it was that. Um, but it was like this 100% where you're like, are you what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, there's dead bodies in your woods, right? And she just was like so oblivious and in such denial over it. That she just was like, I thought these were like his fake skeletons he used and all that kind of stuff. It was shocking, but it was like one of those things where you can see how somebody would be like, I'm like, I can't accept what's in front of me. I mean, when your kids say we found a skeleton in the woods and you can write that off. Okay. And I cannot remember that. It was a very fascinating one. Um, but and I'll talk about it at some point. It's an older case. Anyways, um, Emily, what it might be that one. I think his name was Herb. Yeah, a lot of you are saying I remember it. It's yeah, it's a case that it sends shivers down your damn spine, because it's just so horrifying to be like, oh my god, this dude was killing all these people, right? Um, and Natalia brings up a good point. Crazy Me had no criminal record. What has he been getting away with? That's my whole thing too. I'm just like, I mean, it's just so weird that you run into this kind of stuff, and it's just like, okay, so again, side note, but not to compare or whatever. Stephen McDaniel. So I'm doing a video on that one. It'll come out, well, probably next week sometime. That's another dude. And if you're not familiar with that one, that was the guy that got caught. He basically killed his schoolmate neighbor and was given a police interview when he found out they found part of her body and on the apartment complex garbage, and he freaks out or whatever. And that was a case where I was like, oh, this dude was going to go on to do this. Like, this is bad, right? That's what concerns me with this guy. But this dude had 6 years, right? Stephen McDaniel got a call right away, right? So hopefully that was one and done for him. That might be it, Adrian. And then Fox Hollow. Yes, Fox Hollow Farms. Yes, that's the name. That sounds exactly what it is. Fox Hollow Farms is what damn nightmares are made out of. Hold on, let me go over here and Google it. Fox Hollow Farms case. Serial killer. Yes, there he is. How do we go down these rabbit holes? I do not know. A serial killer buried Hold on. A serial killer buried bodies on his Westville property. Now some of the land is for sale. Oh, lovely. That was in 2019. No, thank you. Not interested. Definitely not interested in that. Roscoe. Hold on. Yeah, it says, I would think in a small town with a population of 3,000, excuse me, they would have, gone and canvassed and spoke to every man in town. I mean, you would think so too, right? And I feel like they probably did. Okay, Emily says, hey, Chris, I believe I've heard on a channel that does Delphi frequently. It was said he's got a gun, hold on, and a click possibly was heard. Oh, wow. Yes, there has to be something more. Yeah, Emily heard the same thing. Okay, so now is this in relation to, is that like on the Snapchat or was that on some of the unreleased footage, or you know what I'm saying? Or like how they release more of the audio? Is that what you're talking about? Lolo is right in the middle of everything. So first of all, hello Lola, how are you doing? Uh, welcome to the damn sofa. So Lola says I'm 20 minutes from Fox. Wait, hold on, where you go? Lola says I'm 20 minutes from Fox Hollow Farms and 45 minutes from Delphi. So wait, are you telling me I did not know that Fox Hollow Farms was that close to Delphi? First of all, so this is number one. I'm learning this. That is all right there in the midst of everything. I mean, my God, y'all. And then secondly, you're right in the damn middle of it. So, okay, hold on. Yeah, Chris, I just thought that would have been an open secret if he was even suspected. I was surprised no one knew. Take care of him before the law got him. Yeah, and that's true, Natalia. It was on, hold on the Libby phone Libby had. It was on Snapchat. Okay. Welcome to the damn sofa. Yep, Harry is the guy. I remember that. Okay, yeah. Crazy. I finally watched the first episode of the Jeffrey Dahmer case. I'm pretty much know all the details of the case, but I had a hard time getting to it. Yeah, Maya, that and they've done some kind of sequel or they've re-upped the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. I don't know. In fact, you know what? Please hold. Please hold. For God's sake, please hold. Hold on. I mean, we're okay. Let me get my microphone back. Jeffrey Dahmer series Monster has been renewed for 2 more seasons. Where is it? The first season, yep. Netflix will now turn the focus onto other serial killers. The next 2 series will focus on other monstrous figures who have impacted society. Okay, so they've redone it, but it's not going to be like continuing that story. So, specifically about Jeffrey. So there's that. But it should be interesting. Hold on. I don't know if you have heard it, but I heard that he checked himself into the middle of the. Okay, yeah. So Outlandish History brings up something good, and y'all who follow the deep dive channels on this case, let me know. So Outlandish says, I don't know if you have covered it, but I heard that he checked himself into a mental facility 3 days after the murders. So does anybody know? Is that because I've heard that too, but I haven't like found that myself or even looked for it honestly. Does anybody know if like what's the tea on that? Verifiable tea. Yeah, I didn't know the 2 crimes were that close either. Iowa serial killer. Now, yeah, things are getting a little bit crazy in here now. Hold on, please help, good God. He had kids help him, and they kept reporting him, and no one did anything. Reports started coming in 2 weeks ago. What? Donald Studi. That sounds horrible. I'll check it out. I'm really worried about how the state is violating his rights. I watched on the newsletter he wrote begging for a lawyer. I just watched on the newsletter he wrote that just begging. Are you talking about what's his name? Richard Allen? Yeah. Possible else probably down the hill. He knew exactly when to say. Someone else probably was down the hill here. Could be. And the name of the video, clients he's greatly violent. I'll manage for the 2. Hey RD, how's it going? Hey Chris, how's it going? You told your boss that. I ended up saying, I said, I don't know if is saying please hold a Southern thing, or do I interpret it as being Southern because literally everybody it revolves anywhere in my hemisphere says that to me. My mom says, everybody says it. Please hold. Please hold. It's like, so to me, I'm like, that's a Southern thing, but I think actually I'm like, no, that's a ball thing because I've gotten everybody hooked on it. Yep. I heard the same thing about mental facility. I heard it was when he threatened his wife at a bar and then he went to him. That was 2015. Yes. Okay. I did say. Okay. Thanks for the tea there. Yes, this is a Southern thing. Okay. I just needed to check. I want to go over this real quick since we're all kind of like we're going to take a little side note here. Let's see how long this is though. Okay, we won't go on a huge thing on this, but we will just like do a little bit about the Fox Farm hollow thing or whatever. Plays out. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Yeah, you know what? Outlandish makes a good point. Please hold is probably a generational thing because of home phones and operators. You're 100%. 100%. I agree. Hey, plus, because we started saying please hold it. So there's that. Yes. So there's that. Another shameless plug. I have the So There's That merch in the merch store now if you're interested. Thanks for segueing into that one right there. I do appreciate it. Let me get over here now, please. So what we're going to do is this. Thank you for calling Whirlpool. Please hold. Thank you for calling Whirlpool. Please hold. Have yourself a whirly day. They'd fire me in 5 seconds flat. I'd come up with so many like annoying things to say to work the word whirl into. Let me just whirl around and get that for you, miss. Well, that would have sent me for a whirl. I mean, they would have like people would be calling pissed talking about my washing machines busting all over the place. I would be like, well, that would have just sent me on a damn whirl. I don't mind you. I would imagine you are upset, ma'am. Let me just whirl around to customer service and get you some help. Please hold. Okay, let me get over to the screen right here. Okay, let's see here. Share screen. Where are we? Yeah, we're gonna go for a damn where is it? Chrome tab. Let's see here. We're looking for the Fox Farm murder. Share. And then we're gonna make sure that y'all are on the same page. Yes, there you are, Indy Star. Okay. So this is the case we were talking about earlier. Well, where'd it go? Well, that's disappointing. There it is. Okay, so this is the case we're talking about. Now we have learned in this chat so far that this is apparently halfway to, I can't remember, was it I can't remember who, I don't have it in front of me. Claim your fame in the damn chat. I don't know if it was Yaya or Nolo. I can't remember who said it. I can't remember the name right now, but somebody lives in between Delphi and this place. And so we didn't know they were this close. This is a case. This is horrifying. Serial killer buried bodies on his Westville property. Now some of for sale. This is 2019. Nobody rush out. More than 2 decades ago, after a Westville business owner lived a seemingly routine life with his wife and 3 children on an 18-acre horse farm off 156th Street. Little did his wife and 3 children know that while they were out of town, Herb Ballmeister strangled several men, many of them teens, and buried their dead bodies in the woods on their property, Fox Hollow Farm. The events would become one of the most notorious crimes in Indiana history, and over the years, the 11,000 square foot Tudor-style house has had different owners who claimed the property was haunted. They would hear strange noises, get unsettling feelings, and see apparitions. Also, a lot of ghost hunters and people like that have gone to peek at the where the gruesome crimes by the serial killer took place. I mean, I could just never own the home. I mean, every room in the house, I would just envision horrifying things, something happening to them. You know what I'm saying? That's all I would be able to think. That's all I would be able to think. I just could not. I could not. Okay, so hold on. Let me get back to it. Okay, so Noah Heron, the owner of the Urban Vines Winery and Brewery and urban farmer in Westville, bought 8 acres of the property. He wants to sell his 3 lots. The home itself, the remaining 10 acres of the Fox Hollow Farm estate, are owned by Vicky and Rob Graves, who paid a little under $1 million for the property in early 2000s after it was originally put on the market for $2.8 million. Yeah, nobody wants that. Okay, literally, like nobody wants it. I don't blame them. There's like bad mojo. No amount of sage is going to clear that out. Absolutely no amount of sage. Okay. Let's get away from that. I wanted to make a joke. Okay, here we go. Beautiful home. Okay, so Indiana investigators believe Ballmeister was responsible for as many as 16 deaths of teenage boys and men who they believe he had picked up from bars in Indianapolis. The cause of death was thought to be strangulation. He drove to Canada where he shot and killed himself about a week after the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department began investigating the discovery of the bones. 2 years after his death, police concluded he had also killed 9 other young men whose partially nude bodies were found dumped into shallow streams along I-70 across central Indiana and western Ohio during the 80s. Yeah, we're talking absolutely crazy. And so here's the photos. Let's just take a gander. I mean, beautiful area. Beautiful. Creepy as hell. Creepy as hell. Pretty, but creepy. Very, I mean, very Ralph Lauren. Oh my God. I mean, it's just, there's no way. No way. Absolutely no way. Hold on, let me stop sharing. Okay. Hey, calming. I think Jacksonville, Jacksonville's a I don't know if military is the right word, but I mean it's a service town or whatever. So there's that vibe there. Um, but yeah, I mean it's Eastern North Carolina, so you're gonna be around the beaches and stuff like that, which is always beautiful. We used to go to Jacksonville when we lived at Emerald Isle, that area, and we would go there because it was kind of the biggest area, if you will. And so I enjoyed it. Gwen, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gwen says, Paul, your commentaries help the horrors of true crime less crimey. Well, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you very much for the compliment. I put sage in my recipe. Hell yeah, it's good for that sage the damn Thanksgiving table. I mean, God knows we're gonna need some of it, right? Yeah, that whole case was crazy. I might do a video on that sometime. Okay, so here's what we are going to do. It is time for me to run because guess what? Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. I have to run and get ready for work tomorrow. But thank you for catching up on this with me and going off on my little, left and right little spiels and all that. This is the best way to catch up on all this because literally there's been so much going on with it, and I've been busy getting ready to move, working, all that kind of stuff that I was like, I haven't been able to sit down and focus. So this was nice to read through this and comment on it with y'all and to get your feedback from what y'all are hearing out there about it. So again, November 22nd, we are going to 100% be on the lookout for that and see what's going to happen with that. And we're just going to brace ourselves and some positive energy to the parents, the grandparents, the family, and all those people for when more and more of this information comes out because it's going to tug at them. Thank you again, Holly. Thank you to everybody for all the super chats tonight. Y'all are very sweet. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being here for all the commentary. And thank you, Emily, our wonderful moderator and person. I do appreciate you very much, Emily. Pardon me. And so that's it. Y'all take care. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And that's it. I will talk to you lovelies on the flip side. Hasta la vista, baby.